Hugh Jackman's legendary turn as Wolverine in the X-Men film trilogy and the solo comic book in which he appeared contributed to Wolverine's rise to prominence as one of the most well-known Marvel superheroes. The popularity of Wolverine's solo comic book may also be attributed, at least in part, to the cult following that the character has amassed. Even though it was seldom necessary for the mutant to conceal his identity, he began wearing the identifiable mask with the large ears from the beginning of their encounter. At the same time, the shades of brown and tan, as well as yellow and blue, were alternating among the garments that he wore. Because he has anticipated in so many different teams over the course of his career, ranging from X-Force to the Fantastic Four, his costume has undergone a great deal of evolution during the course of his career. Even while many of the upgrades have his half-sleeved, tiger-striped look, some of the versions feature designs that are almost militaristic and sly. So this video will show you the top 10 greatest Wolverine outfits that he donned during his career. Traditional colors of yellow and blue. Even though there are a lot of individuals who believe that this specific Wolverine costume is the finest one that has ever been created, it is up against some pretty tough competition. When Wolverine first appeared in the comic book The Incredible Hulk 180 in 1974, Marvel Comics immediately made the choice to include the character in the X-Men the following year. The success of the persona ultimately led to the decision to take this course of action. Using the color choices that had been decided upon in the past, they enhanced the outfit by adding larger components, such as a mask, in order to make the character stand out even more. Hugh Jackman never really put on the Wolverine costume during his performance in the movie The Wolverine, despite a sequence in the movie that was scrapped that hinted at him doing so. Ablation armor. When writing about Wolverine, some writers like to place him in situations where he is unable to use his talents and is also deprived of his healing factor. This is exactly what had a place in 2014 when the character was reimagined once again for a different medium. The only thing that will be different this time that he won't be able to recuperate. As a result of this, he is driven to meet with Superior Spider-Man, an alternative version of Spider-Man in which Doc Ock has exchanged brains with Peter Parker and now adopts a far more brutal approach to battling crime. This meeting will force him to confront his own mortality. During this encounter, he requests the new web-slinger to make him a suit that is so strong that it can survive a nuclear bomb. This request ultimately results in the development of the ablation armor by the web-slinger. To comic book readers, the only satisfying way for Wolverine to triumph over his adversaries is for him to tear through them. X-Force. Following the events that took place in 2007 at the Messiah Complex, Cyclops, the leader of the mutant team, begs Wolverine to assist him in constructing another mutant squad that he can command. Wolverine agrees to do so. The formation of a new team, which included mutants like Psylocke, Deadpool, Archangel, Fantomex, and Eva, necessitated the purchase of new uniforms for the members of the team. A brand new suit in black and gray replaced any yellows or blues in the wardrobe. The X-Force suit quickly rose to prominence as a fan favorite due to the fact that it was so efficient for use in clandestine missions. It's not as if there was another hero who didn't already look magnificent dressed in gray or black. Leather jacket. Wolverine appeared in both X-Men and X-Men Origins Wolverine, but one thing that can't be ignored about this movie is how amazing is that they finally got his appearance right. Even though a lot of people were dissatisfied with the leather costume that Hugh Jackman wore in the first 3 X-Men movies, we finally got the quantity of leather that should be on our hero in the 4th movie, which is called Origins. It made its debut in the year 2000's X-Men, although it was only used in a few sequences. It wasn't until Origins that it was utilized for the majority of the film, maintaining a traditional look by wearing jeans and leather jacket. The jacket has a chocolate brown hue with orange stripes running over it, keeping things simple but still providing us with something that complements Jackman's performance as this cherished figure. Age of Apocalypse. In a parallel dimension, the entrance of the villain Apocalypse forces the planet Earth to go through a tremendous alteration. In this version, Professor X's son journeys through time in an effort to get rid of his own father. Magneto is putting up a new X-Men team, and he has recruited the irate mutant once again. In light of the fact that he is no longer known as Wolverine, Logan now goes by the designation Weapon X, which was previously bestowed upon him. After his fight with Cyclops, Weapon X loses his left hand and decides to cover the void with a metallic covering instead of trying to grow a new one. Old Man Logan. Another incarnation of this well-known mutant figure, this time in a different form. Because he lives in a world in which supervillains have prevailed over superheroes, Logan is driven to go into hiding in order to protect himself from being exterminated. This is done in the hopes that he may one day be able to restore the balance of power. Old Man Logan favors an appearance that is similar to the Origins outfit that we described earlier, and includes a buzz cut on his head in addition to a gray beard as part of his signature look. However, due to the fact that fans have such a strong affinity for the the story, this particular interpretation of the character has been well received as well, even acting as a model for Hugh Jackman's character in the film Logan 2018, which was released in the year 2018, was also a notable accomplishment. As Guardian Armor, when Wolverine is put in a position where he must fight the Worthy, who are the elite vanguards and agents of destruction deployed by the Serpent, he finds himself in an impossible situation. Wolverine forms an alliance with Captain America, Miss Marvel, Iron Fist, Doctor Strange, Iron Man, Black Widow, Hawkeye, Red She-Hulk, and Spider-Man in order to establish the Mighty. Wolverine is allowed by Odin to enter the Nidavellir Forges after donning a suit of armor built by Iron Man and receiving permission to do so. This piece of black armor has cracks that seem like they were caused by volcanic activity all over it, a suit of armor that is not only as powerful as his ablation armor, but also looks just as good. When the Serpent was finally slain, one of the unavoidable consequences was that the armor had to be transported back to Nidavellir and melted down there. Even though we had hoped to see this suit appear more often in comics, we cannot deny that it was a memorable experience to finally have a chance to witness it in action for the first time. Undead. In yet another reality, Logan was given the title Lord of the Vampires and given absolute power over the vampires, possessing all of the same additional powers as a vampire, as well as all of the same weaknesses that are shared by vampires. There was a substantial departure from the color scheme that we are used to seeing, as well as the fact that Wolverine donned a cape for the very first time in his whole history. We managed to get our hands on a version of Wolverine that, rather than being clad in yellows or golds, had a black and red color scheme. As a result of all of these factors working together, we were given a representation of Wolverine that is without a doubt one of the most intriguing renderings of him that we have ever seen thus far. Weapon X. As we have seen many times before, nothing can match the excellence of the works that are considered to be classics. When we talk about how old a character is, we are not referring to how old comic books are, rather, we are talking about how old the character is. Experiments are what turned Wolverine into the metal mutant we know and love today, and those experiments are responsible for one of the most distinguishing features of his appearance. William Steiger gives Logan the option to improve his strength, and in return, Logan agrees to undergo the procedure that would change his bone claws into metal claws. William Steiger also presents Logan with the possibility to boost his strength, thus rendering him unbeatable and elevating him to a more treacherous level as an adversary than he was before. Aside from the mechanical visor, nearly nothing else about Wolverine's look in the comic book X-Men Apocalypse was changed when it was adapted into the movie X-Men Apocalypse. This allowed for an accurate recreation of Wolverine's appearance. Ultimate. Marvel Comics made the decision in 2001 to reintroduce some of its most well-known characters into a different timeline than they had previously appeared in. The Marvel Universe got off to a fresh new start when writers like Brian Michael Bendis, Warren Ellis, and Mark Millar contributed to it. New character designs arose with the advent of a new creative team behind the characters. When it came to Wolverine, it was decided that the mask would not be employed at any point throughout the process. Instead, he would wear a dark blue suit with yellow linings along the clothing, and he would also have a tiny red X patch on his breast. Over the course of its history, the Ultimate suit has been redesigned multiple times and featured in a broad range of media, including the animated series X-Men Evolution, which premiered in the year 2000. Bonus Wolverine suit, brown and tan. The blue and yellow outfit that Wolverine wore in the 1980s was replaced by a brown and tan outfit that was remarkably similar to the one he wore before. The artist John Byrne altered the sleeve embellishments so that they were smooth rather than capped, and he deleted the tiger stripe design that was responsible for the yellow and blue costume's widespread recognition. However, those few adjustments have had a significant impact on the overall appearance of Wolverine's new suit. The main design of Wolverine's first costume has been retained. The Wolverine from the 1980s seemed to be a little bit darker and more in sync with the essence of the character when the bright colors were removed from his costume. We would appreciate it if you could tell us in the comments section below which Wolverine costume you loved the most and why. Click the like button if you'd like to see more videos just like the one you're watching now. Also, don't forget to subscribe to the channel. I'll be waiting for you in the next video.